Pirogovo is about 37 kilometers from Yasnaya Polyana. For a long time, Pirogovo belonged to the Timashev family. Timashev was a second cousin of Leo Tolstoy's father, Count Nikolai Tolstoy. On the 26th of March in 1837, a purchase deed was signed in Moscow, and Pirogovo became a property of Nikolai Tolstoy. After the division of property among the Tolstoy brothers and sister in 1847, Pirogovo went to Leo Tolstoy's brother Sergei and their sister Maria. Sergei got the bigger part of the estate with the manor house and the stud farm, and Maria got the land across the Upa River and the mill. Big Pirogovo and Little Pirogovo were located about 2 kilometers apart. At Little Pirogovo, Leo Tolstoy himself chose a place for his sister's future house over the deep water spring where he had swum in the Upa River, measured the avenues and roads, and planted birches and pines along them. Leo Tolstoy liked to come to Pirogovo, where the silence was especially pleasant, to have more freedom for writing. It was here that the idea of the famous novel Haji Murat occurred to Tolstoy. The Kozlovo-Zaseka railway station is the nearest to the Yasnaya Polyana estate. It was a part of the fortifications on the southern border of Russia in the 16th and 17th centuries. In 1860s, the Moscow-Kursk railway was being constructed. In 1864, the station of Kozlovo-Zaseka was opened on its Tula section. When Tolstoy and his family went to Moscow, they generally left from Kozlovo-Zaseka. Kozlovo-Zaseka also witnessed the tragic events of November 1910. It is here that the coffin with Leo Tolstoy's body was brought from the station of Ostapovo on the 9th of November at 6:30 a.m. In 2001, the station was given back its historical name. The exhibition Railway of Leo Tolstoy can be seen in the old station building. The Yasnaya Polyana Art Gallery is located in the historical center of the Zarechi district of Tula, in the 18th century building that has preserved the classical appearance characteristic of Russian townhouses. The gallery was opened in 1997 as a center of interaction between artists in order to support and encourage their creative activities in painting, graphic art, sculpture, photography, installation, applied art, fashion, video, and new technologies. The Cultural and Exhibition Center LNT was opened on the 10th of June in 2021 in the Museum Quarter of Tula. It is located in the house number 25 on Metalistov Street. The two-story Merchants Mansion house accommodates exhibitions, the museum shop Pierre, the literary cafe Stiva, the mini hotel Scherer, and a cozy museum courtyard that looks like a corner of Yasnaya Polyana estate. On the ground floor of the exhibition space, there is a permanent interactive exhibition. My address is always Tula. The first floor accommodates temporary exhibitions, which are regularly changed several times a year. The Krapivna Local History Museum has been a branch of the Yasnaya Polyana Museum estate from the 1st of October 1999. It is located in the historical settlement of Krapivna, now a village, and formerly a district center in Tula province, 40 kilometers south of Yasnaya Polyana. The first mention of Krapivna can be found in the will of Prince Dmitry Donskoy in 1389. In the early 20th century, Krapivna still was a flourishing town, the center of the Krapivna district, which Yasnaya Polyana belonged to at that time. That is why Krapivna was so closely related to the life and public activities of Leo Tolstoy. The permanent exhibitions of the Krapivna Museum tell us about the history of the town and its modern life, about the life of the merchants and peasants, about the development of educational institutions in Krapivna, and about its outstanding natives and residents. The museum is the focus of Krapivna's cultural life. It works a lot with local residents. Nikolskoye Vyazemskoye is the estate of the Tolstoy family, which belonged to Leo Tolstoy's ancestors on his father's side. The estate is located in the Chern district of the Tula region, where it borders the Oryol region. From 1747, Nikolskoye Vyazemskoye belonged to Leo Tolstoy's great-grandfather, Prince Nikolai Gorchakov. His eldest daughter, Pelageya, married Count Ilya Tolstoy, and they became the owners of the estate. After the death of Ilya Tolstoy, the estate was mortgaged for debts, but in 1824, Tolstoy's father Nikolai redeemed the mortgage and assumed management of the estate. In 1847, a division of their parents' estates between Leo Tolstoy and his siblings took place. The estate of Nikolskoye Vyazemskoye and the village of Plotitsino, with 317 serfs and over 2,000 acres of land, went to the writer's eldest brother Nikolai. At that time, the writer Ivan Turgenev and the poet Afanasy Fed often visited Nikolskoye. After the death of his brother Nikolai in 1860, Leo Tolstoy became the owner of the estate. On the 7th of July, in 1892, after Leo Tolstoy renounced his property, Nikolskoye Vyazemskoye was inherited by his eldest son Sergei, who served at the local zemstvo. Sergei lived at this estate till the summer of 1918, when Nikolskoye shared the fate of a great many burnt and ruined country estates. Sergei Tolstoy had to leave Nikolskoye and move to Moscow. In 2000, the Tolstoy Museum at Nikolskoye Vyazemskoye became a branch of the Yasnaya Polyana Museum. The history of Kochaki and the cemetery at the temple is intertwined with the history of the village and estate of Yasnaya Polyana, since the inhabitants were parishioners of the St. Nicholas Church and buried their dead in the local graveyard. Here, near the church fence, Tolstoy's parents, brothers, wife, some of Tolstoy's children and grandchildren, as well as many people close to him, are buried. The Kochakovskaya cemetery is the only family necropolis of the Tolstoys. In addition, the church itself is a historical and architectural monument dating back more than 300 years. Yasnaya Polyana Cultural Center. Since 2011, the cultural center is used as one of the venues during festivals, holidays, and other events organized by the museum. Lectures, exhibitions, theater performances, concerts, film screenings, and meetings with the film directors regularly take place at this museum branch.